Okay, I think we're ready to begin our panel discussion. And we thought it would be really a helpful thing to start talking about collaborations. We hear about the power of collaboration, and we need to start doing more, and how much we want to be building that, but sometimes it's hard to even know where to begin. And so I've amassed a panel here of experts in their field that will be talking about the different kinds of collaborations that they have built. And there are sort of two different kinds of these. There are organizations that have built collaborations with teachers, groups of teachers, specific teachers, in helping them create curriculum materials around their experiences, flip charts, technology, those sorts of things. And then there are organizations who have found different ways to partner with other organizations to then take an experience to students and be able to let them experience that on a number of different fronts. And so just so that you know who is up here, we have Allison Rozier with the Sarasota Orchestra, and Emily Garsky, who is a music teacher at Fruitville Elementary, teaches both my boys music. Michael Shelton from Embracing Our Differences. Carol Lavallee, who is a social studies teacher at Northport High School. It's Northport Day, sorry. Debbie Herbert, who is an art teacher at Bayhaven. Alex Spalvins, who is with us from Gee Whiz, and Joanna Fox, who teaches creative writing at Booker Middle School. And you'll sort of discern why they're up here as we go down the line. So my first question, we'll sort of start with Allison and Michael, because you two both work pretty specifically with groups of teachers in building your curriculum around your experiences. So you can briefly outline the history of that collaboration, maybe tell us about why it began and how you got it started, how you found the teachers, because sometimes that's a tricky one, and how maybe that collaboration has changed through time. It may have started out being one thing, and then it sort of altered. And then lastly, how you might be measuring the success or want to measure the success of this. And I'll re-ask as we go.
Go first. My name is Allison Rozier, and I'm with the Sarasota Orchestra. And from the very beginning, from the Sarasota Orchestra, they've always had a dual mission of education and a quality performance of an orchestra. So education has always been in there from the very beginning. We are getting ready, this season is the 58th year of doing what used to be called our children's concerts. They're now called our young persons concerts. And since the very beginning, they've always had some type of curriculum materials to get back in and make a connection with the children, the teachers that were teaching that, and then bringing them to the concert. We started, I'm starting my 6th year with the orchestra, so about 4 years ago, we all sat down and said, Sarasota has made a really great effort in bringing technology into the schools, bringing it into the individual classrooms, and we want to get on board and do as much as possible to do that. At the same time, our curriculum packet had been written by one local teacher in the area. She had written the packet for many, many years, and truly, I just didn't think it was fair to have one teacher do all of the work. And you know, for all of us, the more you brainstorm, the more you talk with other people, the better it is. So about 4 years ago, I approached Cindy Balistreri, who was the curriculum specialist at that time, and said, what do you think about possibly going to a team of writing the packet? And who would be willing and able to do this was my first question. You know, could I get a group of teachers together that could write a packet and make it a memorable experience for them and for those attending the concert? And luckily, it has worked out. So we do 3 teachers from Sarasota County, 3 teachers from Manatee County, since we hit both areas. I talked to Cindy at the time and said, who should I start to talk with? Who are the first teachers that come to your mind that are not only great writers, great in their discipline, but also are good team players? We started there. After that, the first year we developed and we tweaked as we went. But every year that I have done it, we first have talked to whoever the curriculum specialist is, get their suggestions on who's the up and coming in the area, who really is good in technology versus who is really creative. So I have a very well-balanced team. I know their strengths and weaknesses, and they balance each other out nicely. So we always try to do somebody with technology experience, somebody that can write the curriculum. We work all summer, and if I can say anything, and Emily can definitely talk about this too, if you have the resources and want to do it, by all means, hire these local teachers. They are the experts in their field. They know this material better than anybody. They know how to interact with their students to make it memorable for them. It was so much fun learning from them. I do have an education background, but I'm not in the classroom every day. I don't know really what is happening and what can make it memorable for that child. And we've been talking about that all day. That one thing, seeing a violin on the stage versus maybe they needed to see a video about it. That's what I wanted from the teachers. So we work all summer long, and we put together this packet. If anybody ever wants to look at a packet, you're more than welcome to. The packet includes lesson plans for the teachers. We cover multiple areas, so it is specific to music because that's where we're hitting first, but we tie in history, language arts, science, math, wherever possible. We also try, as we've talked today, about engaging the student. So there is an activity, they have to act something out, they have to write a story, they have to, do a history lesson and then act it out. So there's all kinds of activities that they have to do. But in the main part in changing our packet over the last couple of years was technology. And Emily kind of helped us along with this. As you all know, in Sarasota County, they have smart boards in every single room. Active boards, sorry. Whiteboards, active boards, smart boards, whatever you want to call them. So we have created a flip chart that every teacher can use in their classroom. And as you all know, since they're active boards, they're active. The students get to participate in that activity, which makes it much more engaging for the student, a much more memorable experience for them. The teachers get a copy of the flip chart. In Manatee County, they can also use the flip chart. We also have done PowerPoint presentations in the years past. This year we did a movie. It's a 50-minute movie that explains everything you could possibly ever want to know about our concert, the composers, the pieces that are being played. This can be played at any time, and you don't have to do the whole 50 minutes in one session. So the biggest part for our packet really is variety. So you all know that teachers, for musicians, some do orff, some do recorder, some like to sing, some don't. So we created a packet that covered a little bit of everything. If you were weak in one area, you didn't have to do that lesson. You could do something that you knew your kids were going to really enjoy doing. But the biggest thing is use the local teachers. They really know the materials and can be a great asset to you. I've called principals. I've asked principals what to think about. Would they even allow me to use their teacher in the packets? I also asked the teachers, who do they know in the area that they would really like working with. Did I answer all your questions?
We did a lot of things that were just discussed, but I think I did something that was a little bit more aggressive, and I think it's paid off unbelievably. I actually put these people on my board. I found out, first of all, when I got there, I had two incredible resources already on the board. I had Nancy Rucker and Bernadette Bennett on my board. And I learned a long time ago the best thing to do is to find the person who knows how to do it best and go ask them to do it. And so that's exactly what we did. And through Nancy and Bernadette's involvement, we kind of followed your model, and we went into, when I say we, that's the royal we. I didn't do any of this stuff. But they went out into the system, and every year they pick a selection of teachers who come in and create the curriculum based upon that year's art that we're selecting. And it's created in the active board format. We also provide it to them in PDF formats and other types of formats that are easier for them to use if that's what they choose to do. But the real focus that I think was, in addition to having an excellent package to give to them, I really insisted, and they were very, very receptive to doing it and creating a package that made it as simple as possible for the teachers. You know, every single thing that we do in our programs, we try and look at, you know, how can we make it as simple as possible for the teachers. And for example, all of our curriculum materials, you know, they can download it right off of the internet. Okay? A big component of our program is we provide free transportation to any teachers who want to bring their kids to experience the exhibit firsthand in the park. First of all, you know, they beat our doors down because it's a free field trip. You know, this past year we spent over $65,000 and bused just shy of 20,000 children to Island Park, you know, in about a 3-week period, and that was a great incentive to get the teachers to really buy into it. But you know, we kind of figured, you know, what's the simplest way to get these field trips coordinated and ordered, and we created an online system that allows the teachers just to go to a single page. Through, you know, the teachers that Nancy and Bernadette identified and became great supporters of ours and really bought into the program every bit as much as anybody who's actively involved on a daily basis. For example, Debbie and Carol. You know, Carol is probably my biggest advocate in the entire county for us. Okay? You know, we found people, you know, in pretty much each one of the school systems who was willing to take on the program and to accept, you know, a sense of ownership for it and to be a promoter for it within that school. And so, you know, I think the key to our success has been, you know, we tried to think like a teacher. We tried to make it as simple as possible for those teachers. And just through talking today with Bernadette, things that we've learned today, you know, we're going to make it even easier for them in the future.